Ndemenka diamale teng, ndemu UDP quality, Ousainou Darboe wala mfamati.
Nsafate masabale ko, niya moy ala molba fly excellency Ousainou Darboe, nde president Barrow ndele ngake vice president wala kada wota.
Betun sati nyang safolo nyoti nyala, nienti nyano, yenti nya, ngeti nyano mbeti nyala.
Waruma taxaw di tontu wante Adama Barrow ci because benn yoon mag naa ko fuuf maa ko gën a jàng maa ko gën a xam àddina soo kooku war maa nekk di tontu wante kooku su ma defee loolu dama suufeeloo suma bopp.
Ale bon sajet.
Wala lenga jabang.
Ale bon sajet.
Wala mama jali.
Ousainou masata.
Wala mama jali.
Alale ya masayadi.
In the Gambia, where leaders rise and fall, and politics is often filled with fear and hope, one man spent his entire life standing for justice. This is the story of Ousainou Darboe, a lawyer, a politician, a man who refused to stay silent. Born in 1948 in a small village called Darboe, Lawyer Darboe grew up in a simple home, but from a young age he carried a strong belief in fairness. As he grew older, he became one of the most respected lawyers in the country and later one of the most important political figures in his generation. This film takes you through his journey from his early age in rural Gambia to his work as a human rights lawyer, from forming the United Democratic Party to facing arrest and pressure, from serving as a minister and a vice president to become a long-lasting voice in Gambian politics. Ousainou Darboe was born on the 8th of August 1948 in Darboe, in Central River region of the Gambia. His father, Numukunda Darboe, once served as a member of the parliament. Growing up around the public service shaped young Ousainou Darboe's view of leadership and responsibility. He began school in Bansang Primary School. Later, he moved to Banjul, where he attended St. Augustine High School and then Gambia High School. School opened his mind to a world bigger than the one he knew in Darboe. His hard work earned him a Commonwealth scholarship to study law at the University of Lagos in Nigeria. After completing his degree, he continued his studies and earned a master's degree in law from the University of Ottawa in Canada. When he returned to the Gambia in the early 1970s, he started work at an Attorney General's chamber. He served as the State Counsel, then as an acting Registrar General, and later as a legal draftman. But in 1980, he made a decision that changed his life forever. He resigned from the government because he did not want to support laws that were being used to silence people. He chose principle over position. After leaving, he opened his own law firm called Basansang Chambers. There he defended ordinary Gambians who could not defend themselves. He represented the people accused after the 1981 coup attempt, including those facing the death penalty. He also provided free legal service to people who had no money to pay. His work made him a respected figure in the legal community. He served as a vice president of the Gambia Bar Association and took part in important national committees that dealt with the appointment of judges. By the end of this chapter of his life, one thing was clear: Ousainou Darboe was not just a lawyer, he was a defender of justice, and his fight was only the beginning. In the mid-1990s, the Gambia was changing. After the 1994 coup, the country entered a period of fear, silence, and a tight control. Many people were afraid to speak. Many chose to stay silent, but Ousainou Darboe chose a different path. In 1996, he joined other Gambians who wanted to return to democracy. Together, they formed a new political party. They called it the United Democratic Party, UDP. The idea was simple: a party that would stand for rights, fairness, and the rule of law. A party that would speak for ordinary citizens. Darboe became the leader of the party. He entered the presidential race that same year. Even though he did not win, he became a strong voice in the country. His speeches were calm but firm. His messages were clear. The Gambian deserved freedom and justice. Over the years, the party grew. It won seats in parliament. It attracted young people, elders and citizens from many walks of life. But as the party grew, so did the pressure from the government. Meetings were blocked, supporters were arrested, and Darboe himself became a target. Still, he refused to stop. He kept speaking. He kept organizing and kept pushing for a better country. The foundation of United Democratic Party was not just the start of a political career, it was a beginning of a long and difficult struggle. As the year went by, Darboe became one of the strongest critics of the government. His party refuses to bow to fear. They challenged unfair laws. They spoke against abuses. They defended those who had no protection. But speaking out came with a price, a very heavy price. Darboe was arrested many times. His party members were detained. Rallies were shut down. Many Gambians who supported him faced intimidation. Yet every time he was released, he came back stronger. One of the most difficult moments came in April 2016. UDP supporters marched on the streets calling for political reform. Security forces responded with force. Some protesters were beaten. One of them, Solo Sanding, died in custody. When Darboe heard about the news, he made a decision. He walked out of his home and joined a peaceful protest demanding the body of Solo Sanding. He demanded answers. He demanded justice. For this, he was arrested again. Along with other party leaders, he was taken to court. The charges were very heavy. The trial was tense. But even inside the courtroom, he kept his calm. He spoke with dignity. He refuses to apologize for standing up for what was right. Many Gambians saw this moment as a turning point. It showed the strength of the man who could not bend, even when facing prison. It also showed the growing desire in the country for change. Darboe and others were sentenced to prison, but their imprisonment lit a spark that soon grew into a national movement. And that movement was about to change the country forever. When Darboe and other leaders were taken to the prison in 2016, many believed that the opposition would collapse. Instead, something different happened. Ordinary Gambians stood up. Parties that once disagreed with each other came together under one force. A coalition was formed to challenge the long rule of Yahya Jammeh. Because Darboe was in prison, he could not run for president. The coalition chose Adama Barrow to lead the ticket. The election came in December 2016. Many Gambians voted with hope and courage. When the results were announced, the country held its breath. Jammeh had lost. It was a moment that shook the entire world and filled the streets with celebrations. After the victory, Darboe and other political prisoners were released. People welcomed him with joy and respect. For many, he was a symbol of the long struggle that has finally opened the doors to democracy. The new government took office with the promise to rebuild the country, and soon Darboe would be called to serve again, this time inside the cabinet. In year 2017, the new president appointed Ousainou Darboe as Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was a major moment in his life. After spending years in courtrooms and opposition rallies, he now presented the country to the world stage. As Foreign Minister, Darboe worked to rebuild relationships between international partners and the Gambia. The Gambia had been isolated for many years. Now he helped restore the trust. He reassured the world that the Gambia was ready for openness and cooperation. He carried himself with the same dignity he had shown during the hard years of opposition. For him, public office was a responsibility, not a reward. In 2018, he was appointed as Minister of Trade, while still serving as a leader of his Party. Later that year, he became Vice President of the Gambia. It was the highest office he had ever held. But political life after the change was not easy. Tension began to grow inside the new government. Old friendship turned into disagreement. Promises made during the coalition period started to fall apart, and soon Darboe found himself once again on the outside to start over everything he had once fought for. In 2019, he was removed from the position of a vice president. Some saw it as a political rivalry, others saw it as a natural shift of power. Darboe accepted the decision without anger. He returned to the opposition, just as he had done many times before. His removal marked the beginning of a new chapter. Once again, he was standing on the side of the people, preparing for a battle that laid ahead. After leaving the government in 2019, Ousainou Darboe returned to the opposition. He came back with a new experience and a deeper understanding of the country's political challenges. But he also returned at a time when the public was beginning to question many of his decisions made during the early years of the new government. One issue that continued to follow him was his time as Minister of Foreign Affairs. During that period, he approved the return of Gambians who were set to be deported from Europe. This decision angered many Gambians, both at home and abroad. Some felt the government should have done more to protect citizens facing deportation. This criticism did not disappear. It resurfaced stronger when Darboe returned to the opposition and stood as a candidate again. Another major issue was the debate over the length of the coalition government. At the start of the transition in 2017, it was widely believed that the coalition had agreed to govern for 3 years and then return to election. But when Darboe joined the government, he supported the idea that the president should serve a 5-year term as stated in the constitution. He even said publicly that anyone who challenged this 5-year term would be taken to court. This position created frustration among some Gambians, especially those who believed the coalition promises should have been honored. Later, after Darboe left the government, he began to challenge the same 5-year term he once defended. This sudden change led some people to feel unsure about his intention. It raised questions among some supporters who had once trusted him completely, and it created a sense of mistrust that continued into later elections. These issues shaped the political climate around him as he prepared for the 2021 presidential election. Despite the challenges, Darboe continued to campaign with calmness and discipline. Many still saw him as an experienced national figure, but others believe his actions showed that he was putting his own interests first. That debate continued to remain as part of his story. In the end, Darboe did not win the 2021 election, but even after the disappointment, he did not turn away from politics. He continued to call for peace, stability, and respect for democratic processes. He encourages his supporters to remain patient and to keep faith in the political system. Through victory and defeat, praise and criticism, Ousainou Darboe remained a constant figure in the country's political life. His journey continued, shaped by both his supporters and his critics. Today, Ousainou Darboe stands as one of the longest-serving political figures in modern Gambian history. His life story is known across the country. Some see him as a national statesman. Others see him as a symbol of resistance. But everyone agrees on one thing: he has been the central part of Gambian journey towards democracy. From the quiet villages of Darboe to the highest level of government, his path has been filled with challenges. He has faced arrest, political pressure, betrayal, and disappointments, yet he continued to stand tall. His work as a lawyer saved many lives. His leadership in the United Democratic Party built one of the strongest political movements in the country. His courage during the difficult years inspired a generation. His service in the government helped rebuild Gambia's international image. But maybe the most important part of his legacy is his character: calm, patient, focused, never driven by violence or revenge, always guided by the law. For almost half of a century, Ousainou Darboe has been part of the national story. His influence can be felt in courtrooms, in parliaments, in elections, and in the hearts of ordinary Gambians who believed in freedom. As this chapter closes, one truth remains clear. His journey is not only about politics, it is about a man who chose principle over comfort, courage over fear, and service over silence.